What is up, Auburn baseball fans? How are we doing today? We have a very special guest coming in to talk some Auburn baseball, Mr. Caleb Conley. Caleb, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having me. It's an honor. I love Auburn baseball. This is my first Auburn podcast, I guess you could say. I've
Let's
done.
go. Let's go, man. That's hype. I'm glad to have you. I follow you on Twitter, and I saw your tweet about going to Plainsman Park, and I guess that's where we'll start off tonight. Is Caleb, Auburn, they went 8-22 last year, and you come back this year and you have a great year, and you put the ballpark up there in the upper echelon of the SEC, and you made all of these renovations, and you got former players coming back, like the big hurt Frank Thomas. He's been there a lot of weekends, and you got Josh Donaldson coming back and throwing the first pitch against Vandy. And people are starting to get involved, man. Like, how big is this for Auburn baseball? And what did you think about the new and improved Plainsman Park?
Yeah, it was. I went last weekend. It was great. My first time visiting the newly renovated Plainsman Park. I've been going to the ballpark at Plainsman my whole life, and it was always great. I like the ballpark, but adding those renovations, adding those extra seats, adding that extra emphasis on the stadium, it's great. I mean, there's a different buzz around the country.
Yeah,
And just the fans, they love it. I mean, the War Eagle Wall, you got fans on top of the Green Monster. I think that's the only Green Monster in the country that's
yeah.
college. But yeah, it's a great atmosphere. I think it's now one of the premier venues in the
Mhm.
SEC, if not in the entire country. Yeah, just a great ballpark, and I think I love what they've done to it. I love it.
Man, when I went up there for the Vandy series, I had to get a taste of that War Eagle Wall. And for years, I think a lot of us always talked about, man, there should be seats up there. And you put the atmosphere up there with the standing room, and then you can go up there and have you a drink, get you a couple of hot dogs and all that, and it just gives you that baseball field, right? And then they put the deck out there in right center for the students, and they get rowdy right there by the opposing bullpen. I thought that was great. And because a couple years back, you saw lawn chairs out there, and for the regional, they brought the swimming pool out there and all
Oh
that
yeah,
stuff.
oh yeah.
So I really enjoy that for the students. And then down the first baseline, man, all the club seating, the Hall of Fame club, and what I really thought was a thing of beauty was I always said that behind home plate, it needed a baseball field. It needed it needed that feel of like at pro baseball, man. Auburn was upstairs, right? And you needed to lower that thing and put the fans right in action behind home plate. And we finally did that. And I just feel like you're up there now and you're competing with a Bluebell and the box and all those. You're not there yet, but you're getting there. And you want to be in that conversation for recruiting, right? So I love what they've done with Plainsman, man. But I want to get into this baseball team. And I mentioned last year's season, and you come into this year, and it's just been a complete 180, right? And I want to start with the Auburn pitching staff. First, I want to get your thoughts on Sam Dutton. I think he has been phenomenal, just inserting himself into that Friday night role. A guy that, man, you can lean on and say, hey, go give me 6 innings. And, hey, he might be losing when he comes out, but he's not going to be down by more than 2 runs, and he's going to give you an opportunity on a Friday night to win a baseball game. How electric has he been to you, Caleb?
Yeah, Sam Dutton, he's been absolutely great. I love him on that Friday night role. I think that was a great move by Butch Thompson early in the year, swapping him and Cade Fisher. And last year, I mean, we traded him for Christian
Chris
Stanfield. Chris
Stanfield.
Stanfield,
Yeah.
yeah. And that was a good trade. I think it worked out for both of us.
Yeah.
We needed a pitcher, we needed a guy like that, and we got him. And it's been a great pickup. I mean, he's a senior, but he's been absolutely dealing. And last year he did find a lot of inconsistency, but this year he's found it. This year, like you were saying, he's not going to be down by more than 1 or 2 runs. I mean, we just got to get the bats going forward behind him. And so far, I mean, he's at 2.48 ERA, and he's been lights out. I mean, he is must see TV every Friday night.
It's crazy too, man. That breaking ball, people just haven't figured it out, and it's crazy because he doesn't have like this overpowering stuff, right? But he pitches and he hits his spots, and then he breaks off that little 70 mile an hour, and that's what when I'm just talking about it in the lives when I go live for Auburn baseball games, I'm just like, dude, it looks so hittable. and hitters are just swinging through it, Caleb. Like it's nasty stuff.
And he's not going to walk many guys at all. I mean, his
That
strikeouts
too.
ain't the highest, but he's at a 7-to-1 K to walk ratio. I mean, it can't get better than that. That's all you need is some guy to throw strikes and hit his spots and just have defense behind him, and that's what's worked so far.
Yeah, man. I look in Game 3 against Mississippi State. When we had the big lead, I said, "Hey, just look. It's 11-6. We got 6 outs to work with. Just give me a guy that can throw strikes, right? Just give me a Carson Myers.
Right.
Does he give up? Does he give up some hard contact? Yes. Does he give up some bombs here and there? Yes. But solos aren't going to beat you. You're up 11-6, man. And I think in years past, when you watched Auburn baseball, you would have those big leads. I can remember last year we were beating the piss out of Tennessee, and you come in, you're up 5-6 runs, and then all of a sudden you can't throw strikes, and next thing you know, you're down 4. It's things like that, man. I feel like this Auburn pitching staff, even you turn to the bullpen, Caleb, like those guys have consistently gotten better. And, like I mentioned, Carson Myers, you got Dylan Watts, you got all these cats back there, man. Like Cam Tilley, heck, he went from bullpen to Sunday starter. You got Christian Chatterton. He's been a guy. The Alvarez, he's a freshman. I thought he's thrown some good innings, man. Just talk a little bit about them guys.
Like you were saying, years past, our bullpen, our pitching gave up big leads. And I think the main issue with that was walking guys, a lot of walks. And looks like Butch Thompson and the pitching staff has filled that hole and filled that gap this year. And that's been a huge difference maker with our big turnaround season this year, winning 8 games last year, up to, I think, 11 now this year already with 3 series left to go. But Cam Tilley, he's looked electric. He came in on the Sunday role, and I think he's going to fill that role for the rest of the year as our number 3 guy, and I like it a lot. Christian Chatterton, a midweek guy, he's a freshman. He's looked absolutely great. John Armstrong out of the bullpen, he's looked really good the past few games. And, I mean, like that Georgia Tech game I was at, I mean, we shut him out, and that's one of the best offenses in the country. I think our pitching staff looked great. And Chatterton being a freshman, I mean, if we get him 3 more years, he could be in that Friday night role before you know it.
Yeah, he shut Georgia Tech down. Well, the first time he didn't. The first time they kind of got to him a little bit, but the second game, he got 2 dubs against Georgia Tech, man. So I like him in that midweek. I think it helped him because he started in that day 3 role in the SEC play to begin the season, and he struggled a little bit. But I think going to that midweek, helping him develop, was big for his confidence, and I like what he's done. Now, I think I wanted to ask you. I think Auburn. I don't want to say it's a problem, Caleb, but Cade Fisher is your game 2, your Saturday guy. And he has struggled for majority of the season. And I know he's dealt with some injuries and there's been some ups and there's been a lot of downs, right? What does Auburn do there? Like, is it a confidence thing? What's up with Cade Fisher? Because I feel like a couple of weeks ago, he gave you a really, really nice start. What was it? The Alabama series, maybe, I think it was.
Yeah, Alabama game 2.
Yeah. Look, what does Auburn do there?
Cade, I mean, he's been a little inconsistent this year, and early in the year he was doing, I thought, pretty decent. But 1-2 right now, a 5.76 ERA, ain't the greatest. But keeping him in that 2 spot, I think he can work out some of those kinks. And especially these last few series, we got 3 games. I think Tennessee, Ole Miss, and South Carolina left, and I think I keep him in that spot. I mean, right now it looks like we're all going to be a regional host, and that's a decision Butch Thompson has to make. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision because I don't know what I'd do. But Cade Fisher could be starting if we're playing a 4 seed in that first game, and I wouldn't mind seeing that. If he can work out some of these kinks, if he keeps it up, I don't know what you do if you're Butch. I mean, because you got to have 5 innings out of the Cade when it gets deep in the postseason. And that's what you got for it. Got to get minimum, I think, out of him.
Yeah, and see, in game 2 against Mississippi State, he gave up 2 2-run bombs right out the gate, and then you had to bring John Armstrong in. And, John Armstrong held it down for as long as he could. I mean, when he starts getting up there throwing 40 pitches and things like that, it's like, man, you've been using him as a one batter guy, right, for a majority of this season. But he did his job, and you need Cade to get into that 5th inning, that 6th inning. If he can go 6, man, that'd be great, and that's why I wanted to ask you, what is all what does Auburn do? Do they try to maneuver some things around? Do they try to throw Cam Tilly up in that 2 spot? But I think you answered that perfectly, man, with just keeping him there in that 2 spot. And if you do play a Stetson like at a 4 seed, maybe he throws that game 1 and you save Dutton for like, we talked about it earlier, an NC State that's been projected as a 2 seed in your regional. And so I'm interested to see how it works out with that Auburn pitching staff. And I think Cam Tilly has been a shot in the arm on that day 3. So, man, look, we got 3 SEC series remaining, Caleb. You go at Tennessee, you got South Carolina at home, and you go to Ole Miss. All right. How do you see Auburn faring in these last 3 series? And what does Auburn need to do to potentially get a top 8 seed? I know Auburn fans, they feel like top 16 seed is probably sewed up with the resume. But how do you think we fare? And what does Auburn have to do to potentially get that top 8 seed?
Yeah, we got at Tennessee, South Carolina, then at Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
That's some tough road matchups. You got 6 road games. Right now we're sitting 11-10 in SEC play, 11-10 in SEC play.
Yep.
And usually it takes 14-15 to host. I think Auburn is going to be a host. I think right now we got it locked up. But winning, I think 16 games is going to take it, or 17 maybe, with how the season's gone. Because we've had I don't know if you know the national landscape, but there's quite a bit of mid-majors that are making some noise that could be in that spot to talk to. UC Irvine, Coastal Carolina, Dallas Baptist. So Auburn really needs to win, I think, 16-17. Hopefully not 17, probably 16 to be an 8 seed. But 6 road games, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to win 5 of those last 9, I think. South Carolina at home, that's very good. I think we need a sweep there. And just take 1 from Tennessee and then try to get 2 at Ole Miss. I think that's what it's going to take, is win 17 games, I think.
You laid that out perfectly, because I'm right there with you. What I fear is Auburn got swept in Athens, and then you sweep LSU at home, which is phenomenal. It's crazy. LSU getting swept is just unheard of, man. Like, it's just, like Auburn hasn't done that in 30 years, but just hearing LSU getting swept is mind blowing. But then you follow that up the next weekend and you go out to Austin and you get swept again. What I fear is Auburn going to Knoxville, and I just feel like you can't get swept again, because if you get swept in Knoxville, then the committee's going to be like, all right, mate, you might be a top 16, but top 8's out the window.
Yeah, well, talking about going to Austin and getting swept, that so far hadn't looked too terrible. I think everybody's done that practically so far. But on the road, it's been a struggle on the road for Auburn this year. 4-8, not that great. Hopefully can pick up a few more right here at the end of the year. But the really big difference maker is that strength of schedule, I think. We've played the toughest schedule in the country. We're still sitting here with 30 wins. That's really good. And number 4, RPI. I think that'll get us. If we stay in the top 10 to 15 in RPI, I think we'll be in the top 8 conversation at least. So, yeah.
I'll tell you this. A lot of people talk down on midweek games, right? Check out the Troy Trojans, folks, and how big of a midweek that is for the Auburn Tigers, and having that win on your resume. You look at the Georgia Tech, sweeping Georgia Tech. That's phenomenal for the resume. These midweek games, they're no longer cupcakes anymore. Like you talked about the mid-majors, man. These guys can play. I think the transfer portal helped out these mid-majors. I think, you can no longer, in today's college baseball, you can no longer just go out there expecting to cut teams and 10 them in 7 and all that. We're in a different era. And, I think you having the number 1 strength of schedule and 4th in RPI, I think that's going to carry if you do get to 16 wins. And I think it's going to be really hard to keep Auburn out of that top 8. But you can't go to Knoxville and get swept, because if you do, that's 3 sweeps and against, top 10 teams in the country, man. And I feel like that would be a knock on the resume, even though how great it's been. The committee would just kind of look at that and be like, all right, man, like, you're good, but are you elite? or can you play with the big boys? So
Yeah, if we get swept against Tennessee, we got to win out, in my
yeah,
opinion, against South
yeah,
Carolina and Ole Miss. And like you were
I,
saying a minute ago, midweek games do matter. I don't know if you've
they
seen my
do.
bit, but I have that bit come out every Tuesday and Thursday or so. And I say midweek games matter. They do matter. They matter a lot.
They do, man. Hey, I tell you this. When was it? Was it last? Was it last year or the year before where Florida they were just struggling
Yeah,
and
last year.
yeah and the midweeks they were like, hey man, Florida they handled their business and I think that's what got them into the tournament was that they did their job,
Yeah.
um, and they matter, man, and people they say, oh well, we're playing UAB tonight. UAB beat you, they beat Auburn this year, they swept you, so they matter. They go on the resume, and they're looked at when the committee makes their picks.
Oh yeah. I mean, it matters to RPI, so it's gonna matter to
It,
the overall scheme.
that's a fact. That's a fact, Caleb. Look, this Auburn team is great and everything. You just come off a series win against Mississippi State, and all of us college baseball fans, we know what happened just a couple hours ago with Chris Lamonis being relieved of his duties at Mississippi State. And look, some people were shocked. I saw Peterson's tweet and saying that he should have a statue and all that at Mississippi State because he won a natty. Me personally, I disagree. I think
Yeah.
he was given a God squad, and that's just me. All right. He also led Mississippi State to some of their worst years, and I think Mississippi State fans and their faculty was tired of putting up with it because that is one of the most premier baseball teams in the country, and that program isn't just going to put up with being 7-14 or whatever they are in SEC play right now. And so I didn't find it shocking. Matter of fact, yesterday on the live feed while I was watching the game, he left his starter in there. It's a 2-2 game. Auburn goes up 5-2. He leaves him in. Auburn goes up 8-2. And I said on the live, Caleb, I said, he's probably going to get fired for this. And people were like, oh, he's going to get fired. What are you talking about? And I was like, well, this is a must win game for Mississippi State. And in my opinion, in must win games, you have to have a quick trigger. And when it went to 5-2, I felt like Lamona should have been like, all right, like, come on. Like we can't let this go any further. And when he just left him out there and Auburn was just pounding him and in just hard contact after hard contact. And I was like, man, he's really letting this guy stay out here and get shelled. I didn't find this as a surprise. I didn't. What do you think about this, and who do you think could possibly be a replacement? And I kind of hopefully want to put Auburn fans at ease. Do you think Butch Thompson, with his past and everything with Mississippi State, do you think he could be a candidate?
Yeah, great questions. Chris Lamonis, I wasn't surprised this year he's getting fired, but I was surprised it was middle of the year. That did shock me a little bit. I thought they'd wait a few more weeks at least. But yeah, he's been. I mean, he won the national title, of course, in 2021. But the year after, it was a historically bad season for Mississippi State. And this year again, they're 7-14. That's not going to cut it over there at Duty Noble. And I mean, I've seen some interesting names on the list. I've seen Cliff Godwin, East Carolina's coach. I've seen Skylar Meade, Troy's coach, Josh Elander, and Christian Ostrander, and Nick Mingione. I've seen those guys on the list. And you were mentioning Butch Thompson and the ties he has to Mississippi State with John Cohen as the athletic director at Auburn, coming from Mississippi State. It should scare Auburn fans a little bit. I mean, because the prominence and the dominance Mississippi State's had as a baseball team and university they have over there in the, like you were saying, the lottery. I mean, NIL in Mississippi could be a lot better than it is in Alabama, and it should worry Auburn fans a little bit. I mean, personally, I don't think Butch Thompson will leave. That's my opinion, and I don't really have nothing to back it up. I just go on gut feel. But, I mean, yeah, it should worry a little bit because I'm sure they will have a phone call to Butch Thompson. I don't know if he's first on the list, but I think he will be around. He'll be around the early part of the list, I think. And he will get a phone call if they don't reach the first guy on that list. He will get a phone call.
That's the one program that I've always worried about with Butch. But now with the strides that you've made, I feel a little bit at ease because I feel like he has made Auburn. I don't want to say into like a powerhouse, but he's made us into a contender, man. Like we've went to Omaha twice in his 10 years, and the way it's looking right now, you're going to compete to do that again this year. And so I just feel like with all the upgrades, with everything Auburn's done, like you said, the hire at AD, I think that's going to keep him at home, and so I feel a little bit better where we're at right now, and I'm glad we're not 8-22 in the SEC this year. So that makes me feel good, man. And one quick question before we get out of here, Caleb, I forgot to ask you about this Auburn baseball team, and I just can't let it go because I feel like it's one of the biggest things with this team, man. Talk about these freshmen in the lineup. Talk about the sticks, man. Rimbert, Freilich, Terrell, and even the younger guys. Like he's not a freshman, but I feel like he's filled in center field for us when Cade got hurt, and you got Bristol Carter, the transfer from ECU. Like there's a lot of youth on this team, and could you talk about that and where Auburn sits with potentially not just this year, but years to come, man? Like I feel like Auburn's in a good spot.
Yeah, Auburn's freshman class has been absolutely electric. Been one of the greatest in the country. I think our recruiting ranking coming in the year was number 4 and was one of the top freshman classes coming into the season. You got Trace Freilich. He's leading the team in batting average as a freshman, batting 340. Bud Terrell, I mean, he hit 2 bombs the other night in the series against Mississippi State. You got Cade Bellew. I mean, after the season, how the season started for him. I mean, what went through his mind and how he's overcame that. I mean, it's just unreal. It's a testament to his story and his season and his baseball career. Chris Rimbert, I mean, he's batting 324. He's been an absolute showstopper. I mean, just some of these young guys, it should make Auburn fans goosebumps on their arms. I mean, this is going to be a squad you're going to have hopefully a few years, and we could be going on a very, very good run over the next few years with these young freshmen.
Man, it feels really good, Caleb. It does, especially with the arms you got in the bullpen and the starters that you're looking at, like Cam Tilly. He's still young. Like it feels really good to have these guys in the chamber out there. And we talked about Alvarez and Chatterton and all those cats. And you got a couple that hadn't even thrown this year that have a lot of high praise and promise. So
And
the
this
youth
also
on this,
adds on to the Butch Thompson story. I mean, he's
yeah.
building this class, he's building this team up, so I would not be worried, I mean, about him going anywhere. He's
Mm.
built see what he's built from this team?
Yeah, man, it's been phenomenal. It's been a fun year at Plainsman Park. Still got a little ways to go. It's going to be exciting. Caleb, tell the Auburn fans where they can find your work, what you're doing. Let them know, man.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter. That's where I'm mostly at. X, I guess you'd call it now. At
Yeah.
Caleb Conley, just like you see it on the screen right here, just like that. No spaces, no nothing. Caleb Conley, that's where I'm mainly at. I post just college baseball content. I'm getting my name out there. It's my first year doing it. I go to games. I cover mostly Auburn for College Baseball Central. That's who I work for, the company. You can find them on Twitter also. But yeah, this is my first year doing it. Just trying to make myself a national name, I guess you say, in the college baseball world. And yeah, I'm your college baseball guy. That's for sure.
Hey, we love it, Caleb. Like I said, I followed you on Twitter, man. I kept seeing you pop up, and I was like, okay. I was like, I like the graphics and all the stuff you're putting out, and your power rankings, your polls, your top 25s, all that stuff. I was like the mid major stuff. You talked about midweeks and all that. I was like, man, this is electric stuff, man, and great job on the graphics. I really like the time you put into that and all that good stuff, and putting out.
I don't have any graphic skills, really. I guess you say it's all in Microsoft Excel.
Hey, that's all it takes,
That's
baby.
all
It looks good, man. It looks good, and I think you do a great job, and hopefully this podcast can help you continue to grow, and that's what we're trying to do here. And I like I told you before we started recording, Caleb, I have a passion for Auburn baseball. Don't get me wrong, I love Auburn football. You can see the towel there. I drove out to San Antonio to watch them in the Final Four. Auburn basketball, love them to death. But the Auburn baseball Tigers that's my passion, man. And I'm glad to share this 30 minutes you give with me, and us talk some Auburn baseball. And I really enjoy your content, Caleb. And I appreciate you for coming on tonight. And I hope we can do it again, man.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Like you were saying, I'm a huge Auburn guy. I grew
Yeah.
up all around Auburn, going to football games, basketball games, baseball games. And I'm also a huge college baseball fan, just trying to grow the game any way I can.
Love it, Caleb. Well, y'all, thank you for joining us. Hit the like button, share this video. I will share it out to Twitter. Caleb, I'll tag you in it, man, and we can retweet it, quote tweet it, all that good stuff, and hopefully we can grow the following, Caleb. Thank y'all. Caleb, War Damn Eagle to you, man. And hey, we got 3 series left. Let's go get some dubs, man. Catch y'all later. We're out.